This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers, a slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 207 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. This week, we all quit our jobs, and I'm assigning everyone something new to do with their lives. So that makes me Eric Getty-Gettinger, who is a stray cat wrangler. I like that job. With me, as always, is hand turkey creator Alex Arona.
You would think this is a joke, but the market for crudely drawn hand turkeys is booming right now. Going to the moon. I am loaded.
Yeah, you have the perfect aged child for that. Well, we used to have capoeira expert Joel DeWitt, but he's not here this week. In his place is no one.
He's sending me really, really grim TikToks. Like, I'm not joking. He is currently he's currently detained, but while detained, he is currently sending me real grim TikToks, guaranteed.
I feel like it'd be frowned
I saw it just
upon
pop up on my phone seconds ago.
if he pulled out like a switch during a child's recital. That might get him in trouble.
But he could sure send me TikToks.
All right, finally we have dedicated barista of the podcast, Alec Parks.
If there was a way for me to make a sustainable income and make coffee, I would have left here long ago.
Yeah. I think we can all agree that, yeah, just if I could find something that would make me happy and not have to do this podcast. I mean, my regular job, I would love to just sit around and drink coffee all day.
Now, have you done the thing where you you pull the handle, the espresso machine? Have you gotten that far yet?
I had one. It was too cumbersome to use in my house because it was just small and it could either pull espresso or froth your milk and not do both. And I didn't really want to make the jump to the next level of espresso machines.
And
okay,
the price
I asked
jump,
because Coffee Talk, which we will not talk about this week, but Coffee Talk has some real official drinks that require ginger and coffee and milk frothing.
Ooh.
That I'm very intrigued on actually attempting to make here. So, and I'll send you a list, Alec. I'll send you a list, and let's just discuss the possibilities of this actually happening, okay?
That sounds fantastic.
Okay.
So, yeah, unfortunately no coffee talk this week, but, well, we're going to jump through early adopters, probably jump through time with early adopters, at least one of these. Recap our Earth Day festivities in the backlog, then gum up the backlog. Hopefully nobody realizes what I'm getting at there. Why is there just pictures in this? All right. That's our episode doc for you folks. Yeah, let's do early adopters where we play alphas, betas, and games that are exactly what you would expect. I'm talking about an oddly satisfying game.
It really is. It
really is.
I feel like
It was.
I feel like it could have been more oddly satisfying, but it was like in a way that the oddly satisfying memification of things has been. You know, where you try to peel a layer of paint and you get the entire piece off, or something like that. A game like that would have been cool. But this is a puzzle game where you will move objects in or around a track as you just push a ball towards a goal. And if you do it correctly, everything moves in one fluid motion to make the ball perfectly roll. It is very cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys beat it?
Yeah.
Well, this is a demo.
What was available.
Right.
So, yes, I finished what was available for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know, guys. The normal method of checking to see what's available, you go on, the normal websites, you search, and everything's like, man, I don't really feel like shooting anything this week. So I came across this little gem, and as Alex said, very simplistic in the way that it works, but some of the puzzles can be a little bit more challenging, but when your main goal is just to click the ball and get it to move forward and then through the goal, it feels pretty good. No high stress either. It gives you the option right off the bat. It's like, hey, are you here to have fun? Or are you here to compete? And I was like, man, I don't want to compete with anything this week. I just want something nice, laid back, chill, and that's what an oddly satisfying game is.
It's got the relaxed music. It's got some low lighting. It's not even like harsh on the eyes because the lighting is kind of dim with just enough light to like get the gameplay like area and get like this a little bit of glow from the goal. And you just like I have cards on the table. I've not been feeling well this week, and in that case, I remember being kind of half awake and just kind of sitting there in the morning, like clicking and being like, "Oh man, this just kind of feels good," and I don't really want to move. So this is like a solid, low effort, real, just like, and even the puzzles that were a little bit trickier, they never felt bad. They always felt like obtainable within a couple of tries, and that's nice. I mean, I'm sure that there are people who say that, oh, this might be too easy, but at the same time, it's like there could be a ramp. I just really enjoyed this ramp. There was 22 puzzles available in this demo. The game is not quite out yet, but at the same time, I did feel like that ramp was feeling real satisfying. There was some more effort as I progressed, but it never, again, felt insurmountable.
Yeah, the peel back mechanic where you'll walk into a stage, it'll present itself, and there's cubes, and you have to click on them to get them to move. I really like that, just so that you could see what you're working with. And everything was, I have to say it again, it's an oddly satisfying game. You didn't expect it. It's not in your face. It's not trying to do something wild and crazy. It's just there. It exists, and it made me feel pretty good about myself.
There was one that I thought was pretty cool where there was a ramp on a piece, but on the other side of the ramp was the goal. So you had to like ramp it off the back of the piece, and when it ramped off the piece, you hit the piece and it would flip over, and as the ball came back, it would click in the goal. So it was actually like kind of like a move it once, move it back, and it would come right back. It was a good momentum to it.
Mm-hmm.
And what was really nice is even on those levels with the moving pieces, it would still repeat your sequence after you beat it to continue to show those changes.
It's good, guys.
They did a really good job here.
Yep. I have to ask. So I think we all agree this game was nice. No extreme, no heavy efforts. It was 22 levels. I felt like it flew by. If this was like 100 levels, what's the price point that you would go in on it?
$20.
Yep.
Okay.
20 sounds about right.
I think I could definitely get behind dropping $20 on something like this. It's just kind of nice to find something that isn't too out of control. I feel like some weeks we just go really heavy into the bullet hells, or even last week with, what was it, Astrovade or something like that.
Yeah.
The whole screen is just lights and it's flashing and you're scrambling. It's nice to take a step back and, take it all in, relax, not overdo it. I feel like that was the theme for this week, because we finally got to play something that Alex played a long time ago, a little game by the name of Dyno. Welcome to Synth City.
Yeah.
This is a game, I want to say it was almost a year and a half, 2 years ago, when the first beta came out to Steam, and it was like register, you could get access, but it was only available for like a weekend.
To be fair, it was day one, and they have since fleshed out more of the game to include multiple days and also like after hours, like sitting at home things you can
Okay.
do.
That's what I was going to ask you, because the setting for Dinopunk. All right. If you haven't heard this before, or you don't want to go back to the previous episode, it is a visual novel. You play as one of the last T-Rexes in this futuristic city. Synth City. You open up a repair shop, and you are doing different tasks for people in order to make money for a bigger goal that I've already hinted at the last 2 episodes in mind. But Alex, walk us through it. How is this different from the demo that you played, I want to say 2 years ago? I feel like it's been that long.
This actually reminds me very heavily of Coffee Talk, which is that it is a visual novel with an occasional gameplay mechanic that doesn't. It's not overly complicated. It's not really complex. It's not difficult. It's just kind of something to throw in there to kind of vary the conversations you have with these people. There are several options of people that come in. Your job, you are the last T-Rex, and you have purchased a repair store in Synth City. You are hanging out, listening to lo-fi synth beats, which is very cool. And people will come in, talk, and you discuss what you need to fix. And there'll be like little mini games where you cut out circuit pieces, and place them on for whatever needs to get fixed. You can find broken pieces and take it apart, find the broken pieces, put in a new piece, and then pull the whole thing back together. And then the conversations will play out based on what choices you make. You can also give people drinks to change their moods. And then at the end of the day, you go back to your apartment and kind of can build out your apartment, interact with website forums for discussion points to kind of get into a community where that might lead into further story beats, and overall just kind of saving money, reading some articles that flesh out the world. But for the most part, it's pretty much just having conversations with your customers and fixing their stuff, and that's like a lot of fun. And again, you get these like little meters for their moods. You can shift their moods, but also just like you can start to see an affinity for how these conversations go. Day 2,
this is new content for you now, right?
What was that?
This is new content for you now. When you said day 2,
day 2 of the game.
Hold on. I want to go back to day 1, and I want to pick Alex's brain too, because you got to play this one, right?
I really want to get to day 2.
Yeah,
day 2 is very fun.
I only played through day 1.
Okay. So
go for it.
A couple of the things that we kind of glanced over, we didn't talk about too much in depth yet, but the fact that your 3D printer, your like helper, has a personality of its own. So you set up shop, and one of the first things one of your friends brings in their phone, they want you to repair it. So you ask him a couple of questions, try and figure out what's actually wrong with it, and then the AI that exists inside of your 3D printers, he helps you a little bit. But it's the next customer that comes in, and it's like, hey, I know that this person asked you to do this to fix the sound on the device that they gave you, but wouldn't it be more fun to install like a police frequency on it so that they can find them? And it offers a pretty interesting, like, what do you want to do? So, Alec, I want to know, what did you do with that option?
I installed the police frequency, the Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah. All right.
I definitely did not.
I did not either. So I want to know, how did the story vary? After you returned the item, did the person notice right away?
No.
Okay.
You interact with them on day 3, so I would kind of be curious if you had kept going, what had happened later.
Ooh, I might have to finish it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what's kind of fun about like these kinds of games, because there's a couple of them that I've played that are just like fun little, like, oh, let's see what happens now, and doing these little bits and like making these different choices will affect their conversations, which like the game will end up having, like, you only say you interact with 10 people, they will each have their own individual arc that will follow through, and at the end you'll get, oh, I had a good ending for this guy, I got a bad ending for that person, you know what I mean, based on your actions.
Yeah, be interesting to see how far they go with it.
What did your chip look like for the second person? Was it still like the size of Texas?
No, it varies depending
Yeah.
on what you do, and even then, it's still like kind of randomized. I know that the day 3 was that lady wanted you to was it you were supposed to build a speaker.
Yes.
Yeah, you're supposed to make her muffler louder.
Yep.
And then day 3, there was somebody that actually wanted another speaker thing, and that one was like again a puzzle piece, so they actually vary in size as well. And also in
Nice.
that case, they said, "Oh, by the way, the lights are going out, so you got to do this fast." And you see
Yep.
it getting darker and darker as you're trying to trace it.
So they make it a little bit more challenging as you go along. There's a lot that's happening. And one of the things that I found really cool is that I don't think it happens until about day 2, but you can use the money that you collect in order to upgrade your apartment, which is above the shop. So you can prioritize like, oh man, this is like really dark and dingy and I'm sleeping on the floor. So do I want to buy a mattress or do I want to replace my blinds? It could go either way. And the thing I appreciate most of what I saw from the gameplay, the interactions with the characters, especially your parents, your mom who keeps calling you every single night to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
It added a little extra flavor to, your character is one of the last T-Rexes. People come in and they're like, man, I thought you were all extinct. Your AI makes fun of you the first time. It's like, hey man, what's up with those stubby arms?
Yeah, that seems to
Jeez.
be a theme of the game, is that everyone's like, "Hey man, doesn't it suck being the last one? Like you're gonna die alone, right?" It's like,
Yep.
man.
So what's the remedy
That's
to
harsh.
that, Alex?
You have to build a time machine, which is the overall goal, supposedly, for the game. We don't know if this is even possible. There could be a story twist, but as of right now, that is the current goal given to you by like day 2 or day 1.
I think towards the end of day 1. But yeah.
I wanted to say in day 2, a guy comes in and he robs you, and you kind of will be giving responses, and there are definitely like things he could do to kind of win over this robber. And I definitely was like I kind of was curious if Getty kind of like smoothed it over, gave up money or whatever, because for me, I got to the point where he goes, "Oh, he just kept breaking my front window."
He did it to me 3
like
times
7
before. I was like,
times.
hey man, listen, I'll pay you.
Well, you paid him?
You know what's really funny? After I paid him, he was like, hey man, do this job for me. And I got more money back than I had to give him. So
Yeah.
it was
But I held
fun.
out. I didn't. At a certain point, they take away the option where it's like he's gonna just break the entire like window.
Yeah, you have to repair that, and it costs money.
Yeah, but it's still like I held out very like as maximum amount of time as I could. Where I'm like, I'm not paying this guy. No.
I didn't want to either, but then I was like, man, maybe it needs me to do it so that I can progress the story. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun, and then I got him to be my friend.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, listening to his emotional journey and hearing about his mother who made him very strong tea that made him happy. So I made him tea.
Drink dispensing mechanic, it seems funny to me that you have just this, what do you even call that?
It's a soda
like
machine,
an
but it only gives out tea or coffee.
soda
Yeah.
fountain. But it's got, you got coffee, tea, actual soda that's there, and it's right next to your workstation. You're like, all right, I'm doing my work here. I'll make you some tea. All right, let's have a conversation. This is definitely worth it. Dyno Punk, I was super jealous that I didn't get to play it before. I had to watch like a YouTube video that was 7 minutes, and it felt like it was just the tip of the iceberg. This is shaping up to be something really special, and I am looking forward to Dyno Punk. How about you guys? No.
It's been wishlisted for me.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, visual novels are not my usual cup of tea. Maybe because this has some interesting mechanics.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a matter of preference. Either way, I feel like this week we kept it low key, and it was nice. Nice change of pace. So,
Agreed.
think we learned something very valuable this week. And if you want to find out what it was, you'll have to tune in next week. Ha ha ha! Let's take a break. News! Hey guys, we're back with the news. So coming off of the heels of Earth Day, let's find out what everyone did to make a difference. I'm looking at both of you guys. Definitely.
I turned off my computer.
I played 0 video game. Wait, when was Earth Day?
Saturday.
You know what?
Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played 0 video games.
All right. Well,
Save the carbon emissions. I also did not Google anything.
That's a miracle.
No,
that doesn't sound right.
But that's also a thing.
That can't
People
be
have
right.
told me that like Googling takes up a lot of resources, so you should Google less.
Yeah, and yet, what do we do week after week?
That's like the only Google I get.
Uh-huh,
I get 2
sure.
Googles
Yeah.
a week.
Mhm.
1 work-related and 1 podcast-related. Let's go.
Yep. Oh, yeah, 100%. Okay. Find out to see what we all did after I make it through all this news. News. First piece of news, Horizon sequels in the works, including side games. You guys like that Horizon?
Did you finish it yet?
I am halfway through the second one, and then I got waylaid by jackassery.
But you also have, from my understanding, and this is part of the news, is that the Burning Shores or whatever of the DLC,
The new DLC, okay.
apparently that is that's Horizon 2.5, meaning
Oh.
that it's necessary play to get to Horizon 3, and then by the end of it, they're like, okay, you know what's happening next. So there is like a lot of
Story-wise, okay.
still going. Yeah,
I mean,
so there's still work to be done, and there's still a lot of game to play, and moves to happen, and in that again will continue in Horizon 3, which they are already kind of planning out, and there are side stories with Aloy and other stuff happening
So
on the side.
The painful part for me is that when you pick up Horizon 2, it is just basically a continuation from the moment that you start out. It's like if you forgot how to do anything, it was not super helpful about telling you like, hey, you remember how to do this? You remember how to do that? And the gap between when the games were released, I feel like they could have done a little bit more with that. You lose your gear. It's one of those things, and you have to regain it. But I like the characters. I like the story so far. It's just a lot of content.
That
it's
was
always
the big
so
complaint
much.
from a lot of people, was that it was just the sheer amount, and
Yeah.
some of it kind of felt like people felt like it was a little soulless. But I don't know. I want to play the first one still. I have not done so. It's in the cards. It's on the plan. The other part is that there was that actor who died, who passed away recently.
Lance Reddick, yeah.
Yeah, and he was in the forefront of those games, and still is in the DLC. Like he completed all his work for the DLC, so there's a lot of questionable like what's going to happen with that character.
He was big in the video game community. He was in Destiny as well. There's a lot of questions about what's going to happen with Zavala. There's questions about what's going to happen to his character in Horizon. Yeah, completely unexpected. He was fairly young too, so I think he was in his late 50s. But voice acting work, you can do it for a long time. Alex got to hang out with Master Chef during the last Fan Expo.
Oh yeah, been doing
that guy's he's still doing voice acting. He's some great stories about it too.
Okay.
Yeah, that stuff. When you first start out, he was like, "Man, I didn't think it was going to be like this," but here he is. All right, so Horizon, more coming in the future. I like it. I got to go back and finish that second game though. It's just just a lot. Somebody made me play Resident Evil when I started playing Horizon 2, so...
Sounds like someone's going to make you play more games after this.
Yeah, I feel like there's more homework coming. Hey, as long as I can get it on sale. Next news item, Twisted Metal TV show poster and trailer coming out Friday. Remember, this is a audio podcast that we record on Thursdays, so by the time you hear this, you might have already seen it.
Let me tell you, this poster looks real bad.
The fact that it says Peacock Original, it's got Anthony Mackie, who's very clearly depicted in a car with is like a machine gun and rockets. Yeah, this looks real bad. But Sweet Tooth's ice cream truck is there
for the car.
I don't know, man. That's how my head looks in a car. So,
I mean, you got a huge head, boy. Yeah, and Sweet Tooth in the background.
Tell you what,
played by Will Arnett. The sweetest.
I don't love the choice. I'm interested to see what happens. This could be really good. It could be really bad. No.
Not the body, the voice.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, he could do the voice. He cannot. Unless he... I think the last time I saw him was Lego Masters. He's the host on that, right?
Yeah, and he's the voices of all the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup commercials.
That doesn't matter. I'm talking about physically seeing him. He's also in that Murderville TV show, and he is just a regular-looking dude, so he's not going to be big and jacked for this.
What if he got big and jacked? That would be real weird, wouldn't it?
I'm saying, man, that'd be crazy. It'd be kind of fun, though.
He'd be Jack Arnett.
Do we know who's playing Calypso?
I don't think they've said that far yet.
I thought we heard rumors that it could be Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That would be real weird.
Would it?
Yeah, I think so.
When it first got leaked and we were first talking about it, I feel like there were a lot of big names that came out. But, I mean, we'll have to see, won't we? Oh man,
Yes, indeed.
This is really wacky. When I Google Twisted Metal show, it comes up as a comedy.
Yeah, I'm not. That's gonna make it so much worse. The good thing I'm using
Samoa Joe is cast as Sweet Tooth, so I don't know. Will Arnett is here, but he doesn't have a credit.
From the announcement, it was that he's doing the voice.
He's gonna do the voice. Okay, so that would that makes more sense to me. Yep. Okay. So yeah, interesting. Adaptations. Take it for what you will. Is it going to be good? Maybe. Is it going to be bad? Probably.
From this,
am I going to watch it? Based on this poster, it's going to be awful. Am I going to watch it? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Next piece of news, Cassette Beasts goes 1.0. Who played Cassette Beasts?
We were discussing it. We were in plans to play it for the podcast, and I think we missed a date on it. But I just wanted to put it out there as an indie game that looks very cool, and it might be something you might enjoy as a fellow Pokemon lover.
Oh yeah, I saw this. How much is it right now? Too much?
It actually looks like a Game Boy.
18.
Yeah, it looked real interesting to me.
It's on Game Pass.
There's a free demo on Steam, so check it out.
I don't got time to be on Game Pass. Yeah, I was looking at this the other day because the art style looks really cool. And it's
very Pokemon Game Boy. Yeah. But like 3D, we're trying to do the whole what's it called, the 2.5D.
Yeah.
And then like also when your character talks, it's like fully like anime characters profiles come on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe this is on Game Pass. I'm updating my Game Pass now to find out. But
okay, you do that. I'm going to sneak in an extra piece of news here. For those of you that didn't see today, Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon. That trailer, though, absolute insanity.
Alec, did you see this?
I did not yet.
The
You
trailer rips.
have
Also,
to.
the game release date, what, August 25th?
August, yep. So we're not going to make you do like a live reaction to this, but definitely check it out during the next break that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to expect. I know what Armored Core is. I know what they've done in the past, but this is from software that's working on it, and it looks bonkers. I think it's like a hodgepodge of different stuff. So you got obviously it's an Armored Core game, so you got your mobile mech suit here. But at the same time, the movement looks crazy. You're flying around. At one point, they've got the tank treads on your Armored Core. Weapons, missiles, anything that... but then the bosses and the other enemies that they're throwing at you, whew, out of control, man. I think Alex, who is... are you a fan of this genre, these games?
Me, no. But I think that was a Joel joint. But at the same time, I like seeing that. This was not on my radar at all, and so I saw this trailer and was like, "Holy crap! This might be." Oh my! Just looks so pretty. Oh boy! And it's not like one type of mech.
No.
There's roly-poly ones with double shields in each hand. Some with no feet that are just treads with double machine guns.
You can
he threw
upgrade
it on
the
his
hell
back
out of
and
this
then
thing.
pulled out a quad rocket launcher.
But best
Oh,
part...
this one's got an electric whip. Oh, and then there's a giant mechanical snake.
That collector's edition. It comes with a garage
Yeah.
and a mech.
It comes with a mech and then a housing for the mech, so you could just load them into a dock.
Yep, slap some stickers on that bad boy.
This looks so
Not to mention
good.
all the modifications you can do.
This looks so good, and I was shocked to see this and being like, is this what Armored Core is? Is this what the rest of the games are getting?
No, it's not.
Okay. What are the other games?
You know what? Don't worry about it.
Were they slower?
I would say that they're slower paced.
Okay, because Armored Core 5 is not giving me any gameplay here.
Yeah, they don't want you to know what it's like.
Okay, let's go to Armored Core 4.
they pulled all the gameplay footage of the previous games after this came out.
I want some gameplay here. Tell me what Armored Core 4 is.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah. We'll circle back to this story a whole bunch.
Cool.
So now, my hype, definitely Armored Core. Starfield? What's that?
I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about.
What do you call that? Phantomware? Or smokeware? What is it?
Vaporware.
Vaporware.
That's actually that's an industry term for a game that's never going to come out. But yeah,
I think it'll come out. But
right now, that's Vaporware.
This is
Fable 4.
real. This is real to me.
The current Vaporware is Fable 4 and Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah.
And Silk Song.
Silk Song at least is
Silk Song's gonna happen.
There's an occasional update from.
No, there has been no update for Silk Song.
It's gonna happen.
But they announced Fable 4 3 years ago, and then they just gave an update. They're like, oh, by the way, we just started working on Fable 4.
Well, because there was like a 6-second teaser trailer when they first brought out the new Xbox.
No, but they just came out with an announcement. They're like, oh, by the way, we just started it.
Yeah, but what were you doing?
Yeah,
for
what
the
were you
last...
doing?
Is it 3 years now? Almost 3 years, right?
Something like 3 years, yeah.
So
there's a lot of conversation about, and this is a side topic, but there's a lot of conversation about how Microsoft will, Sony is very much, Sony and Microsoft are in a buying war right now where they will buy small developers and then use them to either make games or will help them with their own games, like just doing, you're going to do the multiplayer section of this game, or you're going to do a small thing for us on this game. But one of the things that they have said is that Microsoft kind of just buys the small developers and says, do what you want, and never really checks in on them. And then everyone's like, man, you should probably check in on them and make sure that they're actually going to pull out a product, or else they're not doing anything.
Nah, it's probably safer to just let them do whatever and rake in that money.
But I mean, but they're not doing anything, so there's no money to rake in. Just try to at least help with some direction or something.
Alex, you know what I was thinking watching this trailer again right now?
Yeah.
Nier.
It does remind me of Nier. It really
Nier.
does remind
Yeah.
me of Nier Automata.
And I think that's why I'm like, I kind of want this even more than I did before.
Well, again, I didn't want this at all. And now it's looking like a possible day one.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, day one. Don't even get me started on day one. I'm already
When is
behind.
When is Final Fantasy 16?
Where is it or when is it?
When? What day is that?
I will tell you in just a second. I believe it's June. I think. Oh, what the heck?
It looks to be June. Okay, so I got some time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get the collector's edition. Not the collector, like the upgraded edition for that one. But
Yep.
I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff.
You are. You have a good collection. You got that giant. Was it like woolly mammoth from Horizon 2?
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh yeah, we're clearancing them off." I was like, "Okay, all right, let's do this."
Twist my arm.
Yeah, the guy was like, "You know, it doesn't come with the physical game," and I was like, "You know, the mammoth is." Yeah. Okay. What are we looking at here? Deathloop. Deathloop. You remember the game Deathloop? Mm-hmm. Alex and I played it.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
It's a good one.
Deathloop was due to burnout and uncertainty of Dishonored 3. Yeah. I felt like it was part of this. I'm sure it's part of the same universe as Dishonored.
Oh yeah, they've said that.
Yeah. Because you can get the same abilities that
they
you
were going
had
to work
in
on
Dishonored
3, and they kind of talked to Bethesda, and they're like, "So should we make like Dishonored 3? Should we work on that?" And they said, "I don't know if Dishonored's really doing some good numbers right now. Why don't you try to do something different?"
Hey, I love that story and those characters.
Oh no, this is not a complaint. I think that Dishonored is under. I feel like it's underrated. I like Dishonored. I mean,
It's so underrated.
I have not played Dishonored 2. I should.
Well, it's only $4.50 on Steam right now.
Dishonored 2. I own it
Dishonored
like 3
2.
times.
Buy it again.
Corvo
Definitely
mask.
buy it again.
Corvo mask.
Corvo's mask.
No, I think those games are good, and I think those developers are good, and it's just they went out into a new IP.
Yep. Yeah, So we played Deathloop. I think soundtrack was one of the coolest things about it. Obviously, the replayability, because you can constantly go back and find different stuff as you live the day over and over again. I don't feel compelled to go back and play it as much as I want to go back and play Dishonored, though. There's just more
Replayability.
You can do it multiple ways. To finish Deathloop, you have to finish the loop. So,
yeah, and you have to do it in a very specific way, so I didn't really love... It became more linear than I would have wanted.
Yes, exactly. While Dishonored, you have to follow the story path, but how you get to the end is entirely up to you. Do you want to completely skip an area? Yeah, go ahead.
And
you just
also
have to
at the same time, like how you do it really kind of affects the future of the gameplay. So like you being a good guy,
kill run.
a good person or a bad person will make it so that the ending, not even ending, but like the actual environment that you're playing in will be so much different.
Yep.
Did you say you got a no-kill run?
Yeah.
It's really hard.
That's impressive.
I got about
crazy.
I think I got halfway through doing that, and then I killed somebody, and then they fell into like something stupid where like they
water.
They fell into water.
Yep. You can do like accidentally somebody drowns.
Yeah. And I said, well, that's the end of that. I'm just murdering everybody from here on out.
Yeah, you can go wild. I don't know. I really enjoy that whole series. Yeah, so I get it. You know, you don't always need a sequel. I feel like they should just leave Dishonored where it is. Maybe someday come back to it, but right now, it's still, my opinion, holds up. All right, next piece of news: PSVR 2 going to retailers.
It was sold specifically through the Sony website. but now we're starting to get retail traction.
Ooh. So now I could go and see it. Will I buy it? I'm still not a VR person.
As it turns out, you're not the only one, and Sony is starting to backpedal a little bit on the PSVR train.
It's... Yeah, that's a whole different thing. I don't think we have to go into it.
I think VR is cool, and I think that more people should support it. And I feel bad that this might mean that Sony's out of the game entirely, which means another VR company out, meaning VR will be much less viable. But at the same time, I get it. It was really expensive.
Yeah.
PSVR was real expensive, and I got the Oculus Quest 2 recently, and it was like a third of the price.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep.
All right. We're rounding it out. We're almost to my favorite segment of the podcast. But next piece of news, Vice Waypoint Radio ends on June 2nd. What is the significance of this, Alex?
Well, it's just another one of the news outlets / podcasts. It's been the Waypoint was created by Austin Walker, a podcast and journalist in the video games industry, and he has since moved on from the creation of Waypoint Radio and starting Vice Gaming. You know, Vice, the website channel, videos and stuff like that. They actually had a gaming channel, and it's actually just sad, just because it's another one of our podcast brethren in the community. All the people there are losing their jobs, and a lot of good journalists going. Chicago's own Patrick Klepek, who is a known newsbreaker and prolific reviewer and article writer. So it is just sad that, these people are going to have to find more work and have to leave, and they're losing their spot for their voice and a lot of stuff like that, where it's actually just kind of like a bummer that we are losing more to the in the community due to corporate marketing and hitting bottom lines.
Good thing we do this pro bono.
Yep. That's how it works.
You said pro.
I'm glad that that's what you focused on. Oh. All right. Does that mean we can do it now?
Yep, we can do it.
We can do freebies?
We can do freebies?
Freebies.
Freebies.
Freebies. Fwah, fwah, fwah.
Freebies.
Freebies.
All right. We're going to run through these. We're super excited to hook you up with that free game content. First one up, Poker Club over on the Epic Game Store. Is this just poker?
It's just poker.
Okay.
It is what it is, what it says on the tin.
All right. Perfect. What am I looking at? The next game is Breath Edge over on the Epic Game Store. It's all one word.
It is a survival game. Imagine if you get sucked out of a space station into space. Your entire space station gets destroyed.
Sucked out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, the thing only cracks in half.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm being a child right now.
Yep. And then your job is to gather resources in space and, like, say, put together a stick with a rod, and you make a hammer, and you then use that to make a platform and a workbench, etc., that will lead to you building, breathable air and eventually rebuilding a new space station, etc., etc. It's actually kind of a neat premise that I'm kind of into, just because it's like I've never seen like a survival game like this. Into the Forest is the hot one. Children of the Forest right now, the sequel.
Yeah.
Minecraft, etc. But this one I had not seen something akin to this, so it's actually kind of cool for me to see, like, oh man, this seems like a fun survival game. So I'm picking this one up off the Epic Game Store.
All right. Next one is we got a mobile game. We got a mobile game. Honkai. That seem right? Honkai Star Rail.
That's right.
Over on Windows and mobile.
Honkai Star Rail is the makers of Genshin Impact, where you are, instead of doing the action adventure, I want to say Devil May Cry style combat, you are now doing turn-based Persona style combat where you are fighting against enemies and trying to get their weaknesses, and then you can do ultimate attacks. The ploy of it being free to play, as always, is that your parties are random draws, gachapon style, to get hot anime waifus and cool anime dudes as you guys will take on a turn-based RPG. Everybody's wearing 4 coats and 3 belts.
Love it.
So many buckles. So many needless buckles.
All right.
I'm currently playing it on my phone. It's awesome.
And not paying attention to the podcast?
It made me reinstall Genshin Impact on my phone.
It made you?
Yes. Because I said, man, this is cool. If only it was a little more action-y, I can do the other one. So I'm going to do it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Your Average Bear on Steam.
Getty, I thought of you for this one. It's a cel-shaded game where you are a silly bear. You're the sneakiest bear in the average national park. You will get missions from other animals to go sneak around in stealth mode and steal people's food for the animals, including things like you will grab 2 branches with leaves on it and put them in front of your face to hide. It is very funny. I've already added it to my account, and I think you should too. Different animals will give you missions, and you will distract the humans and steal their delicious food for your friends.
Sorry, why does this remind you of me?
Oh, because it's real silly and stupid, and I thought it would make you laugh.
Oh, thank you.
Plus you and Lisa like raccoons, and there's raccoons in here.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, Farlight 84 on Steam.
Hey, y'all like hero shooter battle royales where you're cool guys that look like you're straight out of Fortnites? Farlight 84. Drop onto an island with cool Pizza Hat cat ears, or military cool guy shooters with Hello Kitty backpacks. Get into some mechs and fight your way to be the last man standing in this hero shooter battle royale. I made that all up as I went. Getty, do you like hero shooter battle royales?
You said Fortnites. I'm not letting you live that down. All right, last
Getty,
one.
do you like hero shooter battle royales? Because let me tell you about Cyber Hunter.
Oh.
Cyber Hunter, like the Fortnites, you and your friends will get together, drop on an island, and shoot your way through to be the last man standing. This one's more of a military style, little less outlandish, but fingerless gloves aplenty. You will go through with your machine guns and gather materials to defeat your foes and become the last group standing. In this battle royale, Cyber Hunter.
Wow.
I really like twisted you around on that one, huh?
Hey guys, last 2 games, so Farlight 84 and Cyber Hunter, both on Steam, in case you were wondering.
Yep.
All right.
Both free-to-play battle royale hero shooters.
All right. So for sure, all of that time that we spent away from video games this weekend helped to conserve some energy. So let's take a quick break, but just a quick one, not too long. Oh, hey. Looks like we're back. Back with the Backlog Blog, where we play games that pack a punch. Pun intended.
Mine packs an emotional punch.
Oh,
Pun
my
should
gosh.
always be intended.
Not always. Mm-mm. I like surprise punches.
I like surprise puns.
Ah, the unintended pun. All right. So there was this game that some of the guys on the podcast got to play a demo for.
Yeah.
Called Piece Odyssey. And this was a game that I had previously wanted to play, and I got it. It was on sale, I picked it up, and I've been playing it. And I want to tell you guys, I don't know if you liked the demo that you played, but I love this stupid game.
I will tell you, I have no love or affection. I have made it very clear I do not like One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really liked that demo, and it kind of made me want to get into One Piece, and also just made me really want to play that game. It was very well done. I have found that there is a lacking of good turn-based RPGs, just like JRPGs, just kind of in general. I feel like that genre has kind of become less and less of a mainstay for a lot of games. Like, you don't see as many of them. And so I do see that there is an occasional resurgence of like, oh, here's this JRPG and it's really friggin' good. And like, it reminds me of being a youth and having infinite time and being like, man, I'm going to play all of these JRPGs and just sit there and enjoy all the kookiness. And that's what this felt like to me. Just like a dragon and that one on Game Pass, the Eternal whatever.
What
was that one that's on Game Pass? That
the one that I was like, man, I really like this game, but I don't want to play it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm on Game Pass right now. I feel like it should come up in my, hey, you should play this game.
But that is another one where I'm like, man, I'm glad that some of these people are holding the torch to JRPGs.
Chained Echoes.
Chained Echoes,
yeah, that's the one.
The way that they're holding the torch for JRPGs feels like it's with love and care and respect. And One Piece Odyssey felt like it treated RPGs with love and respect.
So I just want to know, Alex, how far was the demo? How far did it go? Did you just get to do like some random battles, or
you got all of the characters and but you had to fight a boss to save the one girl.
Okay. All right. So that's as far as it went. Afterwards, so in the game itself, you start off with all the characters. They're well established. You're on like the tail end of the saga of One Piece, so you feel overpowered to begin with, as you are. But as things happen in this stupid One Piece universe, you get all of your power sapped by just a random little girl. But the method in which it happens is just even more comical, because even if you don't know Luffy, you know him as the Straw Hat Pirate, and he's always got his straw hat with him. So one of the things that happens at the beginning of the game, it's missing because you get into a shipwreck, and he's trying to find it.
He's really upset about that straw hat.
It was given to him by his father figure. But just the whole him like searching for it and then seeing it and being like, oh, hey, there's the hat. But the way that this girl saps your powers is she walks up and she touches each of the characters. But Luffy does like the yoink, grabs the hat and like dodges her. And then like as he's putting it on, she's touching him. And then you see all these cubes like spread out and you're back to level 1. Again, turn-based combat is really fun because it sets up the area. It's like an arena. So each of the characters might be standing in a different part of the arena, and you can do like ranged attacks, so you don't have to get any closer to the enemies. Or if you got characters that you want to use that utilize like full frontal attacks, you can do that too. But the whole crew is there. They've each got their special abilities. As you progress and you collect the cubes so that you can level up your skills again, you become more powerful. And I feel like the pacing of leveling up at the beginning of the game makes no sense. Because before I even got to the end of Chapter 1, my characters are almost level 20 again. So you start out at 40, go back to 1, and then I'm almost 20. But the really cool part...
I definitely like the fact that at any given time, every single member of that giant crew is available to you.
Yeah.
Some of these fights, it ends up being like, oh, you're fighting five monsters, and you have 6 people on the battlefield, with also 2 more in the wings that you can swap in without losing a turn. And I'm like, that's pretty cool, and feels like most people have a specialty, and their use isn't hindered by them being off field.
It does the rock, paper, scissors system. So you got like skill, power, and speed, and then you can counter people based on that. But the one thing that I did want to talk about, and then I'll be done with this for right now, because I'm I'm probably not going to play it too much, knowing that I got Jedi Survivor on the way home right now. Is the fact that you get to go back and relive one of, I think it's my favorite saga from what I've seen in One Piece so far, and that's the Alabasta arc. The whole Desert Kingdom, and there's just a lot of cool enemies that the crew fought, and those battles, as happens in anime, are way too drawn out, but they're really fun. So I can't wait to experience more of the backstory and see how they changed it, because they say, like, hey, things aren't going to happen exactly like they did before. So it should still be pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to, digging much deeper into One Piece Odyssey and seeing everything that it has to offer. But so far, so stupid. Like, exactly what I expect. The humor between the characters, and just the combat. It's that classic JRPG that I really needed right this second.
Sick.
So, before we say goodbye, Alex, I hear you want to say adios.
So, I want to talk about a game I played called Adios. Getty, you know how I like to play these indies that give you the feels.
Yes.
And then you always say,
I'm
man, that
familiar.
sure is depressing. Let me tell you about
Sounds
Adios.
about right.
All right, Jesus.
Have you guys seen the film Snatch?
Yeah.
Many times.
Do you remember one of the pieces of advice that one of the gangsters talks about? Is always be wary of a man who has a pig farm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because because pigs will eat through bones like butter.
Oh, hungry pig will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adios, you are a humble pig farmer
Oh, no.
who's
Oh, no.
who has a mafia handler who will deliver bags of pieces of people for you to dispose of to the pigs. And while that seems really grim, the game starts with you talking to your mafia handler. You've been doing this for a decade. And you're telling him you don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, I can only imagine how that conversation goes.
Well, he's a real nice guy. It's been a decade. You've been friends. You've been friendly enough. So he says, well, let's just talk about it. Let's hang out for the day. And so you go about your day and you discuss. He's telling you why you have a whole lot of reasons to keep going. And you tell him all about your time in the war.
Which war?
The grieving of your wife.
Specifically, I need to know which war.
I believe it was. This is in the 80s. So.
Hold on.
So
Don't help.
the war.
Don't help him. Don't
No,
help
I'm
him.
not good with this, so I'm not gonna try.
Don't help him with history.
I'm not gonna try.
If it was in the 80s, then it would be
World War II, because this is old. Your character's older.
okay. And what war happened? You know what? Never mind.
Yep. Let's keep going. And
Back in Nam. All right.
so anyway, your characters. You talk about how your character's son disowned him, and about just like the lonely life you live on the farm, and how you kind of want to do something good before you hit the end of the road, because you've done a lot of bad in your life, especially in the war.
I mean, if you were in Vietnam, then yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
Vietnam, yeah. So that's kind of your character. At the end, the mafia guy's like, well, I guess, I mean, I tried to convince you. You spend the day doing chores with him while having these conversations. And then he goes, okay, so you know what needs to happen, right? And he goes, yep. And he goes, leave the door unlocked. I'll be there at 7. And then you spend the rest of the game saying goodbye to your son, your neighbors, your animals. You make yourself a nice meal. Adios is a real good game, guys.
All right. Well,
It's a really,
Thanks for-
Super uplifting.
thanks for bringing the mood down here.
dude. I really enjoyed Adios. It was really like I was watching it and I was like, wow, this is just taking some really good swings here. I felt like I told this to Joel because I knew he wasn't going to be on this week, and he goes, I have never heard of this idea before. So this is something that I'm sure that's okay. It's a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Adios should really be praised for what it does and the fact that it tells a very personal story in a real weird outcome, like a really weird situation to put somebody in, and like that's the premise. There you go, and it's like, whoa, that's something you can do.
All right.
What do you think, Alec?
That's super dark, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm real sad now.
good. You should play Adios. I believe it's free on the Epic
Good.
Game Store.
You said it's free?
It was free. You might have claimed it already.
I don't know that I did. Oh, boy.
If you claim them all, I'm sure it was in the last year. It came out relatively. I don't think it's that old.
So I'm depressed now.
So you ready for video game homework then?
Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
Video game
Kick us while we're
homework!
down, Alex.
What was that?
Kick us while we're down.
Yep.
There you go. 2021. Adios came out in 2021, so it's not.
All right, what am I typing into my Google? No, into my
First,
Steam
there's
machine
a little bit
here.
of a preamble here.
You can't just. It's got to play with us here.
I do. Video game homework is supposed to be about coming up with prestige titles that make sense to be in possibly a video game museum or possibly a video game hall of fame for something. My original idea, which I had thrown by to Joel, was a multiplayer game, which I had been wanting to play for a long time, and I have played probably 30 hours of. And I was going to schedule 3 2-hour sessions where you guys would have to play video games with me in this multiplayer game. I logged into the multiplayer game this week and found that it is no longer something that I feel like I can do because it got so complicated. It's been updated over the course of, say, 7 years with new content.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that it's Warframe.
On top of perks, on top of abilities, on top...
Warframe. It was Warframe, isn't it?
It was Payday 2.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, I wanted to play it with you guys, and I still put that in my back pocket as I would like to play Payday 2 with you guys. But it is just so complicated that I didn't feel like it could be in my Hall of Fame right now because it as somebody who played 30 hours and I came back to it because I haven't played it in like 4 years, and I came back to it and be like, this is not the game I played. So I would have to relearn the entire thing. So.
Oh no.
So in light of that, the game I did have, I had a second option, which is in a very similar vein, which is one of my favorite video game soundtracks. So I would say that on Steam, for currently $2, I would request you all purchase Hotline Miami.
I feel like I have it somewhere, but not here.
$2 seems like a lot.
Hotline Miami is one of my favorite games.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It seems like a lot.
What?
What is money?
Yeah, and Hotline Miami's awesome. I don't know what you're talking about. Again, it is worth more than that. I paid full.
I paid full
$30.
American
It was
price.
$30, I think, when it came out.
What?
It wasn't $60.
No, but that still seems high.
It was awesome when it came out. It's still awesome today. I will hold judgment on 2 because 2 wasn't. I felt like 2. It got a little mean in its difficulty curve.
Mm-hmm.
1 by the end is really hard, but 2 starts off where 1 ended, and only got harder.
Man. So the reason why it's on sale is because Devolver's got like something going on with Steam right now. Digital Publisher Weekend. But
yep.
Man, I'm looking at the games that are coming out soon. We got a Hellboy game. We got Sludge Life 2.
Yep.
Stick It to the Stick Man, which we played here on the podcast. Angerfoot
game.
But this that I'm looking at right now, The Plucky Squire. This looks just silly enough that I will play it.
Send me a link. Let's have a look.
There's
Now-
Skate Story, which I think is an Alex game.
That is an Alex game, and it's been requested for review. Now, Hotline Miami, per How Long to Beat is 5 hours. I would request you attempt to beat this. It is within, I feel like, an acceptable range that it doesn't kill you to play through it. It's pretty fun.
That's what
Also, here's some fun facts for you. Immortalized by John Wick 4, they actively have a Hotline Miami scene where they film from the top down to emphasize the gameplay of Hotline Miami. They have Hotline Miami DLC in both Dead Cells and in Payday 2. There is Hotline Miami DLC. And Hotline Miami also got inspiration from the movie Drive. I will be presenting you guys a live action Hotline Miami trailer that I would like you to watch. And it is very fun and very creepy to give you the feels of where we're getting into. And I am very excited to play this with all of you. So that will be the video game homework. Joel is now aware of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just sent it in the chat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's following along on Twitter or
cool.
Twitch, whatever platform we're streaming on.
Sure, whatever we do.
Yeah.
We're here to make you a believer.
And, we'll discuss the time frame as we go further down the road. But I would request you guys get this, start it up, and enjoy the wild ride. I believe I still have it on Switch, but I also have it on PC, so I'll probably be playing it on Steam Deck.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems possible.
And I believe this came out in 2012.
2012.
So that's video game homework.
All right. You got 6 days to finish it.
An hour a day.
For the next week. Maybe. All right. We did it. We did a thing.
Yes, we did.
All right. Don't forget to check out the chat. I sent you an extra present, Alex. All right. So let's move to the tail end here. Let's do our one last thing. One last thing. This week will be brought to you by the gracious people at GameStop giving my game to my wife, even though she's not sharing the same last name with me. Making it very questionable why she would randomly show up and request it. Okay. My one last thing. Jedi. That's it. Done. Alex.
I installed Honkai Star Rail on my phone. I played about an hour. I then installed Genshin Impact on my phone. I uninstalled Marvel Snap.
Power move.
End of conversation.
Wasn't that Game of the Year 2022 Marvel Snap?
Also want to shout out to our friend Alex Ramos who sent the joke that you just posted, which is genital jousting is 69 cents. He goes,
nice.
Alex, genital jousting, and I go, I own this. Are you telling me you want a copy? And I sent him a copy, and he goes, I didn't really want a copy. I was trying to make fun of you, and I'm like, this is not a joke to me, man. Enjoy your copy of genital jousting.
Very nice.
If he doesn't want it, I'll take it. Okay.
He accepted it.
Good. Alec?
There's a big problem with emulation. Now that I've set up my Steam Deck to play whatever I want, I don't know what to play. I've got all the options. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Super Nintendo. What do I play?
Mega Man
I
Battle
guess I'll start
Network.
on homework. Yep. That's what it's settled with.
Yeah, don't start the homework just yet. But yeah, I can't wait till we get to talk about Battle Network 2 because I forgot how much I didn't like some of those changes. All right. Everybody's good? Let's wrap it up. That'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Twitter at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where last week we didn't stream anything.
I got very sick. we're not going to go into detail. I just got very sick, so we're going to.
Let me say, this following week,
Yep.
we will probably have our podcast on Thursday, but live on Twitch. Saturday, Joel will finally solve the problem with vampires.
Keep saying that. I don't think he ever will.
I don't think he ever will either. That game is endless.
I feel like he's got a problem with vampires.
Monday, Alex will finally go Super Saiyan
Blue?
red, blue, orange.
We call it Rose Getty. Good times.
Rose all day.
Rose all day.
And Tuesdays are still for Dope Beats and Skater XL.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's do this.
That's it. For streaming.
Over on our website, we have reviews of Blanc and Post Void. What's that website, Alex?
SuperGGRadio.com.
Nice. That's ours. You can't have it.
Nope.
We own it.
Hey, Getty. I'm thirsty. What should I be drinking?
Oh, man. Let me tell you. Drink Poggers. Go over to Drink Poggers and use code GOODGAME at checkout for 10% off of your energy drink or sleepy time supplements. I wish I had my bottle over here, but it is downstairs. That's drinkpoggers.
.com.
All right. .com. So if you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG Getty.
Good game, Alec.
Good game.
And good game, Joel, wherever you are. Woogity, 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 woogity.